I'm going to make my final call to order of the North Smithfield School Committee meeting of November 19, 2024. Clerk, please call the roll.
Chair Lombardi,
Present.
Mrs. Mayo. Here. Mr. Connell.
Here.
Mrs. Vada. Here. Mrs. Barnamoli. Here.
We have 5 present. We have a quorum. Move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. With allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of the nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So moving on to public and community comment, Alicia.
So, good evening, everyone. It's truly an honor to stand here tonight and speak about someone who is going to hate every single second of this. Our incredible business manager, Lisa, who after 28 years of dedicated service is retiring. I'm going to steal a little something from the John Lahar playbook here. Lisa started in North Smithfield in 1996. I was entering the 3rd grade. The first flip phone was released, and Mike's beloved Google was still 2 years from launching as a public search engine. Lisa, while you shy away from the spotlight or any accolades, tonight, we couldn't let this moment pass without taking a few minutes to express our deepest gratitude for all you've done. As the business manager, you have guided our office and school department with unmatched professionalism, ensuring that every detail, every challenge, and every opportunity was handled with precision and care. You always worked quietly and humbly, making everything in the district run seamlessly and have truly set a standard of excellence. When I first started here, and for those who have been here, you're going to feel old, 12 years ago, Lisa gave me the chance to dive right in, never letting me sit on the sidelines. She involved me, encouraged me, and trusted me with opportunities that allowed me to grow both professionally and personally. Lisa, you've taught me so much, practical skills, yes, of course, but more importantly, the value of grace under pressure. Your mentorship has shaped who I am today, and I will forever be grateful. Lisa has kept us all in line and out of trouble over the years. I've joked recently that every time I come across a news article about school employees behaving badly, I'll be sending it straight to the admin team in your memory, just to keep them on their toes. You've always been the one who kept us grounded, ensuring that we stayed true to our mission and values, teaching us to treat the money as if it were our own. Of course, while no one likes to hear no, especially Alan, for an answer, we've all learned that sometimes, and more often than not in business, is just a part of the territory. Lisa has always had the ability to say no with grace and confidence, keeping our best interests and the integrity of the school department at the forefront. Lisa's 28 years with North Smithfield has given her a wealth of institutional knowledge that is truly irreplaceable. It's the kind of knowledge you can't learn from a manual or in a training session. It comes from years of experience, building relationships, and navigating the unique challenges of this beast. While we are excited for Lisa's next chapter, we all know that her wisdom and expertise have left a lasting impact. I will do my best to carry that torch and continue the work she has so expertly managed over the years. Lisa, as you step into this new chapter of retirement, we all know it will be filled with well-deserved rest, adventures along coastlines, and cherished time with loved ones. While we deeply miss your presence in the office, your contributions and memories we've shared remain. On behalf of the entire North Smithfield School Department And with deepest, deepest gratitude, we thank you for 28 years of exceptional service. Congratulations, Lisa, and here's to a wonderful retirement. And Jean has a little something for you.
I would just like to say before I give this to Lisa, that you have been a gift and you have been a blessing to this school system. And I want to thank you for everything that you have done, especially for formulating the easiest to read budget books I have ever seen and understanding the budget book easy for me and answering all my telephone questions and especially for training Alicia to carry on. So you will be missed and happy retirement. Here, I'm sorry, you guys. And this plaque says, in sincere appreciation for your dedicated 28 years of service with the North Smithfield School District, we hope you enjoy your well-deserved retirement. And I guess now that it's my turn, I'm speaking to Jim and Peg, and I want to say that this is really a difficult time for me to even think about the fact that this is our last meeting together because we have been a team for 8 years, and they have been the best 8 years of my school committee experience because we had a common goal, and we always kept that in mind for every decision that we made. We wanted to offer the best education to all of the students here in North Smithfield. You have brought amazing skills to this job. Jim, for your leadership abilities, and Peg, for your knowledge and experience with the Department of Education. Your commitment and dedication define your legacies. And you have made a difference. And we are a better school system because you have been here. So I thank you for everything that you have done for our children and our schools. It's been a privilege and a pleasure to work with you, and I hope you know that you will be missed. We also have a plaque for you. This is presented to James J. Lombardi III, Esquire, CPA, in sincere appreciation for your dedicated years of service to our students as a school committee member of the North Smithfield Public Schools. Jim, thank you for everything. Peg, it's your turn. This is presented to Peg Vada in sincere appreciation for your dedicated years of service to our students as a school committee member of the North Smithfield Public Schools. So I would just like to say very, very bittersweetly, congratulations on a job well done.
So I'm going to yield the floor to Vice Chairwoman Mayo so I can make some comments. No booing. So I wanted to express my appreciation for the support I received from the voters, my family, and this committee over the last 8 years. For the 4,398 people who voted for me, in the 2020 election and others who support the North Smithfield School Committee, please continue to support the school department. I am confident in the abilities of the incoming school committee. We are essentially volunteers that donate our time, not just to the school department, but many organizations in town. We work hard to make the right decisions for our children, schools, and taxpayers. We have made some tough decisions on the school committee, but they were the right decisions. We work together to get things accomplished, and I stand firm and proud of the decisions we have made while I have been a member of the committee. Our schools are amazing. According to RIDE, we are a high-performing district. In the last RIDE evaluation, there were 2 5-star high schools in the state, Barrington and East Greenwich, and 6 4-star schools. North Smithfield High School had 4 stars, but missed a 5-star by 1 single measure. Our RIDECast scores are well above the average in the state and higher than the Massachusetts average. U.S. and World Report has published that their K-8 ranking for 2025 in the North Smithfield Elementary School was ranked 32 out of 268, and in Rhode Island Middle School, 6 out of 135. And in the RIDECast scores, we've all seen them, but the rankings were pretty much single digits of all the districts in Rhode Island. You may have heard many other districts have financial issues because they use their ESSA funds to supplant the budget. We have used it for the intended purpose. We have beautiful facilities, a great learning environment, projects coming in at or below estimate, as well as an unbelievable sports program, chorus, and band. We are fortunate to have a great superintendent, administrators, teachers, and staff. I believe I can speak for the whole committee on this. The sole reason we ran for school committee was to improve our schools for all of our children. Again, thank you, North Smithfield. Thank you, school committee members. Thank you to my family, my mom, my sister Lori, my sister Donna, my wife April, Gianna, Christian, and James, who could not make it. And most importantly, thank you to the superintendent, administrators, teachers, and staff for making us look good. Thank you, Town Administrator Zelinski, for showing up, Town Councilman John Beauregard, and Town Councilwoman Ms. O'Hara. Thank you. And I'd be remiss I want to thank the Town Council and the Administrator for all of your support over the years. Thank you again.
Okay, I don't have any speech or anything, but I feel like I have to say something because this does mean a lot to me. I originally got involved in the school committee because I went to so many meetings and was so worried about the way that our teachers were being treated at the time. They were the best teachers I had ever witnessed. They treated all children so well, taught them the best of their ability. And I just wanted to make sure that the school committee was here to support the teachers so that they could teach the children the way that they do today. I want to say that it's going to be really hard. It's very exciting in some ways. We've had some smiles, but it's going to be really hard to leave here because we did do some good work, but I'm really confident in the leadership that is coming on board. I don't know David well, but I've already introduced myself and have offered at any time, you can come down to RIDE, come talk to me, help you through anything to help you understand the data. Jean, of course, has always been the greatest advocate for every child, and her involvement in the Health and Wellness Committee is just absolutely important. And one important thing in terms of, obviously Terry and Bill are going to be great, right? But I wanted to speak to the people that are going to be coming on board. We have Chris who's in the back there. A little known, unknown maybe thing about Chris is that he's really into artificial intelligence. There could not be a better time to have somebody on this board who understands AI than right now. So please tap him because I think I will be at the Rhode Island Department of Education trying to tap Chris. I'm leaving here, but I'm not going away. Those over at the high school know I'll be there for chronic absenteeism for your survey work stuff. I'm always happy to help you guys in any way that you need it. Just pick up the phone, email me, text me. Thank you, Jim. It's been an honor to work alongside of you. And thank all of you. I will miss you. And I just want to say it was truly an honor to work with you and be a part of this fantastic North Smithfield team.
Next person who would like to speak is Town Council Person John Biragad.
Very nice of April to put me first. So first of all, I'd like to address Peg. Peg and I became friendly because I just got on the council and I was having my first budget hearing. And she said, can we talk? Can you come by my house one day and can we talk? I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll come by. And so I stopped by and she didn't have a whole bunch of numbers for me to look at. She just basically sat there and gave it to me straight and explained the schools and explained everything everything she was very passionate about. And I walked out of there agreeing with you, right? And we've been friends ever since, right? So and ever since then, I learned a lesson that day. And ever since then, I've been saying this over and over again, the quality of our schools is the quality of our town is directly related to the quality of our schools. And that is something that you taught me that day. And it stayed with me. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, and Jim and I have been friends. Jim and I made fast friends once I got elected to the council. And we became, our wives are even good friends. And but Jim has a funny way of not separating the friendship with the with the business sometimes, because he'll be talking to me, go, hey, so we're gonna go out tomorrow night? Yeah, all right, we're gonna ask, where do you guys want to go? All right, I got one more question for you. Are you freaking crazy? I'm like, well, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, you voted such and such. I'm like, Jim, what are you talking about? 1 minute we were talking about going out to dinner, the next minute I wanted to reach to the phone and grab his throat. But that's because he's passionate about what he does, and he believes in everything he's doing. He's sitting here, he's not getting paid, and not just for this, but he's on a lot of other boards too, where he doesn't even accept the pay because he cares, and that's the kind of guy he is. That's how lucky you guys are to have him. We're all lucky to have him. So you know, and we'll be out, and he can separate. I joke around, but he can separate business from pleasure. But at the same time, he's always that guy. You know, so he's not somebody else when you're out. So you'll be sitting there and he'll come over to you and he'll go, so how's the budget look? Like, what are you talking about? What, you think we got the votes? I'm like, what are you, Jim? Well, you know, we're at a funeral. But anyway, he's passionate. He's the right guy. I'm sorry that he's leaving as a resident. I'm fortunate that my daughter went through the system and was able to have all of you up here, really. You guys, and I've made friends with every one of you. And I was lucky that she was at the school when she was, because you guys do a great job and you have great leadership on this side. So thank you very much. And thank you very much, Jim.
Thank you. Town Administrator Zelinski.
So John expressed a little concern about going first. Now I have to follow you. So when I saw people were speaking, I said, geez, I should say something. My wife goes, no, don't do it. Don't do it. It's going to be a word salad. Well, here comes, and the last thing she said to me before I got up was, keep it short. No, no. So, well, take a look around at Lisa, 28 years. Making sure the revenue did not exceed the expenditures. Not easy. And you always had a little left at the end, which was good, right? Peg, what an asset. Rhode Department of Education coming on board to make sure our kids got the best that they could. Thank you very much. Very good. Jim Lombardi, what can we say about Jim Lombardi? A practicing attorney, a certified public accountant, and he volunteered all this time to our town. I met Jim when he was auditioning to be the town solicitor. I said, this is too good to be true. Just too good to be true. We became fast friends. Our wives became fast friends as well. I don't like it when they're whispering behind my back, though. They're up to something. I don't like it. Those that have been on board, Gene, you've been around on school committees, you've seen it. I know you've all seen it. But if you remember, there was some very contentious, dark days between town council and previous school committees. Those days are done. This board up here brought civility and brought back professionalism. There were days where people stormed out of meetings and TV cameras were there. And I'll go, oh my God, North Smithfield looks terrible. But these people and some of the other school committee members that are not here did a great job in shepherding our children's future. So it's a pleasure to be here. How's that, honey? Was that short enough? Okay. Jim, congratulations. Peg, Lisa, thank you very much.
Town Councilwoman O'Hara.
Hello, okay. You know, I'm speaking to all of you and it's a family. I look out here and all these people here. First of all, Mrs. Bartamoli, I had, her sister and I had her son twice. And then we go on to Mrs. Vada. I had her daughter and she was a tremendous speller and I found some of the letters she wrote to me. And then we have, I didn't have any of your kids, but I chased them around with Hallowell, so that should count too. I had Mr. Connell's daughters and I had R. Michael Mayer, which I called them R. Michael for so long. And he was tiny, right? And I taught him how to whack a kid too because I was teasing him and I looked the other way. But I think that's being real. I see them all here. They're successful. Mr. Lombardi, Mrs. Lombardi should be in back of her. Behind every good man is a better woman. When they came in the community, we had many children who were ill. This woman was like a side carnival raising money. Basketball, fundraising, thousands of dollars. Did she help our children and families? I can't even tell you. I think of it, and she did it with such a smile, and you felt almost guilty if you didn't go out to help. On this side, that office, every time I stopped it and she was sitting there, would kind of, you know, how say some people walk into walls, well, I do. So she just straightened me out, get me what I needed, give me a pat on the back, and that would be it. Now, Claire Arnold, I'm going to share things because I'm old. We had my husband was sick most of my marriage. I'd come in from Boston. It was 8 o'clock and I had driven in. And she looked at me and she said, go home. I said, no, I don't want anybody thinking. She said, go home. She could analyze where a person was at, if little leniency should be taken care of, or if it shouldn't be. Now, you don't get that everywhere. Well, my first job was at the ACI, so I have something to compare it with, right? Maximum security. We got a very good team. And I wasn't all too fond of our superintendent. Ashton. I'm gonna lay it on the line.
You keep saying that.
Ah.
Every time you tell a story, you lead
But
that.
but as time went on, and they became, I was gonna go beauty and she's brains, but I really shouldn't say that. I'm only joking, I'm joking. They made the dynamic duo. They complemented each other, which is unbelievable. People got to know, no one went without. And it continues and continues. And I had Mr. Zawinski's son, and he lived on the next street. This one, what was his son, 2? That's when we used to go Christmas caroling too. You know, and as I see these people, what they've given to this town and the growth of the school. And I think this is why our town council, at least most of our town council, when they made comments like everybody, tighten the belt. We get mandates, we can't tighten the belt. We have to do it. And we can't cut our children's ability to learn if we don't give them the right tools. And I will fight this till the end. I look around, I've had more kids, and I even remember where they sat. Usually there was a reason. They were here or there. I say, I hate to see people go, but they've worked so hard. And I'm going to say there is one child that was a top speller and all the years, that was 30 plus, that was outstanding. There was a spelling bee, and the ages shouldn't have been so close. The little kid starts crying. They stop it. Now, she was going to win. She felt so bad. She purposely misspelled that word because I knew she knew it. And she was very comfortable doing it. So when people can do that, our children can make decisions that know it's better. Sometimes it's better to fail because you are winners. Now, I just like to tell you, the women, as far as middle school, everywhere, they're rulers. The first young principal, I think she was a teacher for like 3 years before I found out. And then we have, now, I don't know. Come on, assistant principal. I remember you with Dear coming in the classroom. She was a good student. We all partied in our time, but that made you a happy. You know, no, let's face it. But when they're with the students, I see them talking to them, not at. Now, if we could teach everyone that, it would be a gift from God. And as I look, Miss Fontaine, I think the first time we met, she kind of brought me outside. She said, "They have to do this." I was kidding. Don't worry, we'll rectify it. We rectified it. Daughter became comfortable because some people are quiet and other people aren't. I say to you now, this town is a community. We must keep it this way. Every day for us students and everybody else must be a new day. If you can't say something in a nice way, well, sometimes, as long as it's not in the school area, don't say it. Because you don't know how it's going to affect people. I stand here, I think I cried all day thinking of it. Then we got John, he got in the school committee, and the dynamic has done more. I look at all of you, and as a taxpayer, we have gotten the bargain. Now we have to continue. And technology, I wish I had it because I still can't even run a phone and keep getting excited. They're all over the house, they ring, I don't know how to turn them off. I just let the battery wear down and someone comes in, they can plug them in. I just, it's so hard. I look at all of you in time flies. And you have to think, whatever the weather is, maybe the outfit you didn't wash that you wanted to wear, make it the best day. Because you don't know if it will be your last day.
April Lombardi.
I also first want to thank the entire committee for your dedication and service over the past several years. Peg, you've been great. You brought a lot to the table. We really appreciate everything. It hasn't been an easy ride. So, you know, I on behalf of the taxpayers, I appreciate all that you've done. Jim, as you can see, the whole Lombardi clan is here for you tonight. As I said last night when I spoke at Town Administrator Paul Zielinski's last meeting, when a member of your family runs for office, it's a family affair. I've said this countless times over the past 9 years that you've been on the school committee, and the truth is we moved to little quiet North Smithfield, Rhode Island to get away from the Providence politics. We were just going to hang low in town, right? But neither Jim nor I can sit back quietly when we see things we don't agree with. So here we are tonight. When you were first appointed 9 years ago, I spoke in front of this committee because we had another one of our innocent children diagnosed with cancer. And for the second time in just as many years, it was a member of our tribe, somebody we personally knew. I came in front of the school committee at that time, and you were one of the only members to take my concerns seriously. I remember you getting into a verbal argument with the then chairperson because she thought you were creating unnecessary worry for parents, but you didn't back off. You stood your ground and called for testing of our school's soil, air, water, anything to make sure that our kids were safe. You demanded that the school continue periodic testing and release that information publicly because it was the right thing to do. I am proud to see the superintendent's reports when he still releases the data, whether it's good news or not. Your families in this town have the right to an open and transparent school department, and I thank you for creating that environment. Since then, you have always been an advocate for the children who needed the most support. You've been a huge supporter of extracurricular and classroom activities such as We the People. You were a voice for the children who were falling behind and needed mapping, reading intervention, and made sure that that has become part of the school department budget each year. Based on the testing scores, I would call that one of your biggest successes. You've been an advocate for mental health, not only prior to the pandemic, but most importantly, during and after the pandemic. As a committee chairperson, you had some really hard decisions to make over the pandemic, and the mental toll it took on all of you that were on the committee at that time has not been lost on us. But you faced it head on, came to agreements during the hardest meetings, and you were all there for each other, and I am proud of all of you and your leadership at that time. You have also been an advocate for our sports programs, and not without criticism. You probably saved for and funded for a new turf field, advocated for new uniforms when you found out our parents were sewing up holes in the pants and jerseys each year because the uniforms were so old. And you successfully got our track and field athletes the proper throwing areas so they can not only practice properly and safely, but also so they can proudly have home and track and field events. This may seem like not much to many, but to some students, athletics is all they have. For some students, it might be the only thing that they are proud of in their chaotic teenage years. So as a parent, I thank you all for bringing that to the schools. I'm sure I've gone over my time limit as usual, so I'll end with this. On behalf of the families in North Smithfield, but most importantly, on behalf of our children, this is where I get choked up. For whom you miss countless dinners, games, events to be here and on all the other committees. Thank you for your hard work. ethics, and dedication to making this town a better place for us in our schools, safer and better place for our children. We appreciate the sacrifices you have made, and I am so happy you are out of small town politics. So don't go getting any ideas in the next few years. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I'll be very brief. Just want to point a few, add a little bit more to just what was said. Lisa, again, I really enjoyed working with you, but every one of these, but people don't see. And I know with Lisa, I've been the secretary for the last couple of years, and we go through the bills, and I'm always emailing and texting, what's this, what's that? And I'm always impressed by Lisa's ability to respond accurately and not just accurately, but quickly. And that combination of just really instills confidence. So we will miss you a lot. That being, and I also want to add, of course, I have tremendous faith in the staff who's coming in. Alicia, I have great faith in you and enjoyed working with you. And it's going to be, I have a lot of faith for what's coming up next. Jim, we've been through a lot of things together and still will be. I really enjoyed working with you. The one thing I want to mention about Jim that hasn't mentioned, and I know he doesn't like to publicize this, but we get involved in a lot of fundraising, and we don't talk about that, but there's a lot of fundraising we do outside the school to try and help develop, make scholarship money for some of our graduates. And I don't think a lot of people realize how much work Jim does in that regard. So it's, again, I know he doesn't like me mentioning that, but we work together a lot of these things. And with Councilperson Beauregard as well is also involved on that. So again, they don't advertise that. They keep it very quiet, but raise a lot of money for a lot of our students. And we're not asking for nobody's looking for thanks, but it is something that we do. And with regard to Peg, I've worked with Peg outside of the building on so many education initiatives, and I just think she's such a talent and hate to see her go, but I certainly understand, and I'm sure we'll continue working on the state and on different education initiatives. And always, I think it's important at this point, change is inevitable, but also it's good. I have great feelings about David and Chris who are coming in. And I think also with Gene and Terry, we're going to do the best we can to continue and maintain the quality of the schools. And I think we'll be fine. And I think we'll be more than fine. So thanks to everybody for what the service they've done, and welcome to the new people.
I'm not a speech person. That is not my thing. But I do want to, first of all, thank Lisa. It hasn't been long. She was amazing through contract negotiations to help guide me and Jim. And with the budget, I may have gone off script as you handed me what I needed. But we got what we needed. But thank you. You will be missed. But I think Alicia, she's going to do great. And thank you for training her the way you did. I don't have the history with this committee. I've only been here 2 years. But I will miss Jim and Peg. They are amazing. And the leadership and the guidance, it will be missed. It will be missed. But I have the confidence. I'm glad to see Jean is back, and David and Chris will bring this committee to a level that we can continue to do the good work that you have all done. And Mr. Zwolensky, thank you as town administrator for helping with the schools, keeping everybody working together and supporting us and not being the enemy on the other side. So thank you. Good luck with your retirement.
So let me just recognize school committee members-elect David Dela Cruz and Christopher Simpkins. Thank you for coming. And good luck. We have a lot of confidence in you. Thank you. I'm just gonna, if anybody else want to speak, if not, let's just have a 2-minute recess. That's okay, and then we'll start back up. Okay, we're back on the record. Moving on to, item number 2, the consent agenda. Does anybody have any questions, concerns? Want anything taken off? I don't. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
And seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to reports, Superintendent.
Well, I'm going to cede my time to Ms. Claire Arnold, who will tell you about broadcasts. Just give me a moment to switch screens.
Good evening, Chair Lombardi and School Committee. Although Mr. Lombardi did steal some of my thunder, giving out our data earlier. It really is honestly a very quick presentation, but as you know, RICAS is our summative assessment that we take at the end of the school year. And we use the results for planning, instruction, professional development, curricular decisions, and tailoring specific interventions for students for the next school year. And really, I felt like the most important information could be on one slide. And so we're just going to take a minute to look at this slide. And this has, the general idea of where we are and hopefully where we're going. But if you look at the first row is RICAS ELA, which stands for English Language Arts, and North Smithfield students in grades 3 through 8 scored 54.7%, which is 0.4% above where they scored last year. And at first glance, we were a little disappointed, but it wasn't until we realized that all of Massachusetts and all of Rhode Island had actually lost some ground and were had lost about 3%. And so we felt a little bit better, although we do know we still have some work to go. Fine tuning our instruction and achievement. We, as a district, out of 36 districts, we ranked number 5. And one of the indicators that we look at very seriously is our growth rate, like how are our students growing? And for English Language Arts, we were second in the state as far as growth. And so that means that our students are achieving and we're growing at a faster pace than their peers across the state. And so in Rhode Island, we had 30% of the students, 30.8% of the students that met or achieved the standards. That was a loss. In North Smithfield's 24% above the state. And in Massachusetts, North Smithfield is 15.7% above the Massachusetts average. And so I'm pleased with these results, but I also know there is still work to be done. And then when we look at the math data, we had 58.5% of our students in grades 3 through 8 meeting or exceeding the standards. That's a 3% gain from last year. Our achievement rank in the state is 6 out of 36 districts. And our growth is number 1 in the state. And so what that tells us is that the interventions and the supports in the curriculum and the materials and all the work that we've been doing in math for years now is really paying off. And our students are achieving more and growing at a faster pace. And so we are 28.5% above the Rhode Island average in mathematics, and we are 17.5% above the Massachusetts average in math. So I think this is really the snapshot, and that's really where I want to spend some of our time and ask do you have any questions about this before we move on?
I have one quick question. Claire, Ms. Arnold, I believe, they voted to get rid of the MCAS, right?
So they did not. So
They did not?
they still have the MCAS. And so and the reason that we can compare ourselves with Massachusetts is because RICAS and MCAS are the same exact assessment. What Massachusetts voted is to take it away as a graduation requirement. And so students still have to take the assessment and they can still make, just like we do, we
make planning and curricular decisions based on results of the assessment, but it's not considered a graduation requirement. And so they'll probably, similar to Rhode Island, come up with statewide requirements.
So we'll still have the data,
Yes.
the data will still be
Yeah.
to match it. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
And so what I thought I would do is just share some ways that we use the data and look at data. And this is one, the first thing we do is we'll typically see, well, how are students achieving and what is their growth? And so if you look at, we always want to be in the top right quadrant. And if you look at where the arrow is, that's our middle school. And that's in comparison to the 36 districts. And so you want to be as hot, as high and to the right. And so to the right would be on the x-axis, I guess, would be the growth. And then the further up the y-axis would be our achievement. And so we are in really good shape. The next way we look at data, and I just chose 8th grade to give as an example, but is we look at it across over the years, and we can see, I always look at pre-pandemic, where were we before the pandemic and where are we now? And so our data for math looks very similar to this in every grade level, in that we are exceeding where we were pre-pandemic. And that has a lot to do with the support of the interventions, the instruction, the curriculum, professional development, and it's our teachers and it's their planning and their dedication to what they're doing. It's our parents, it's the families, and it's our students who are just rising to the occasion. But you can see in this one grade level, in 2019, 8th graders were 32% proficient. By 2022, they were 43% proficient. And today you can look and we're 55.3% proficient, and we're only getting stronger every year. And so this is just 8th grade over the years. Another way we look at our data is we look at achievement gaps, and we want to find out, is there a subgroup that we would like to hone in on, that we can see if there's any disparity in the assessment, in the results. And so one of the things, we really don't have a lot of disparities, but one of the ones that we are working on is our students, our economically disadvantaged students. And so if you can look over the years, you can see the first 2 rows, for example, would be our economically disadvantaged students in 2022 versus our non-economically disadvantaged students. And so there's a learning gap there. And so we've been doing professional development, we're working with teachers, we're fine-tuning our instruction. And now you can see there still is a gap, but everyone is getting stronger. And so now 40% of our economically disadvantaged students are meeting or exceeding the standards in mathematics, and 62% of our non-economically disadvantaged students are meeting or exceeding the standards. And our mantra has been, a rising tide lifts all boats, and that we want to teach everyone well. And we know that our subgroups will improve if we're using great tier 1 instruction and high impact strategies with all students. And so it is working, and our economically disadvantaged students, if they were compared to all the other districts, it's number 3 in the state as far as achievement. And so we're doing well with our sub groups also. We also look at our domains. And so for every grade level and every subject, we can drill down to the domains and see where our strengths are and where our weaknesses are. And we can look at, I'll say, statistics and probability used to be a weakness, but because of some of our interventions and supports, it's now one of our biggest strengths. And that's what we look at when we're deciding on interventions and support. And from there, our teachers take it to a whole nother level, and they drill down into the data, and they can look at questions or standards, and they can, ask the questions and answer the questions about why are students making certain errors? Did we teach what was intended? Are our materials aligned to what we're teaching? And they do this error analysis protocol based on standards that we may be weaker. And then they take it and they say, well, what are the implications for instruction, and what are we going to do next year? And so we spend a lot of time looking at this and designing our instructional program for the future. And from there, and sometimes it just doesn't always lead to this, but it could lead to those rich conversations could lead to changing or fine tuning our curriculum. And so every grade level, we have a articulated and aligned curriculum based on our standards. And we have two different documents that accompany each content area in each grade level. And that's our curriculum and standards articulation document. And then we have our yearly framework. So we could say, wow, we've had great conversations about certain standards, but we know that we want to fine tune it in the curriculum. Maybe we need to spend more time on a certain standard, or we need to teach it in a way that we have more models, more examples. And so we take the data seriously. We look at a variety of data, not just RICAS, but we do use it to inform our instructional programming. And so the reflections for tonight that I'd love to leave you with is that our students have shown improvement in both ELA and mathematics, 0.4 and 3% respectively. North Smithfield students are progressing at a faster rate than their peers in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. We're focused on reducing achievement gaps, particularly between our economically disadvantaged students and their non-economically disadvantaged peers. And to support this goal, we will continue to analyze our data and identify patterns and trends that will allow us to strategically target areas of need. And additionally, we will keep working closely with teachers to enhance that tier 1 instruction. And that means tier 1 means instruction for all. We're going to implement targeted interventions, use data to inform and refine our curriculum, instruction, and professional development. Mike drop. No.
Thank you.
Just gonna ask you, could you please explain what tier 1 is so people would understand, but then you did, okay.
Anyone have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good news, right?
Yeah, all good news.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so you'll just be waiting, obviously, what, December or January for your star ratings to come out and where you fall, right? So I think there could be some good news there.
With attendance, with suspension rates, with every other measure, there will be good news.
Well, good. All right, moving on to item number 4. It's for informational purposes only. Does anybody have any questions, concerns?
I just want to acknowledge Stuart, our new computer technician, North Smithfield graduate.
Yep.
He's
Great.
come back.
Sounds good. Moving on to item number 5, old business. I did see the proposed, well, is there anything in regards to fiscal year 25-26 budget?
That's complete. Everything looking good so far.
Good, great. And I did review the proposed timeline and guidance. Thank you for doing that. Anybody have any questions or concerns?
No.
All right, any further business? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
And seconded. All in favor?
It's your last time hitting the gavel. Do a good one.
We're adjourned.
Good night.